Wednesday, Drew's first love has returned, and Kate's not pleased.
I don't like the idea of you having lunch alone with an old girlfriend.
Just gonna have lunch and some cheap, sweaty sex.
Then on Spin City, the battle for Caitlin rages on.
I am here for you. Actually, you know what? I'll be out here for you.
The Drew Carey Show in Spin City. All new. See you Wednesday on ABC.
Hi, everyone. Next year on News Channel 11 at 11 o'clock, one doctor, one procedure. Now hundreds of once obese people are saying thanks. It's a News Channel 11 Extra now on the news.
Now, from the station that brings you more local news, this is News Channel 11 ABC.
Hi, everyone. Good evening to you. It's 11 o'clock now. I'm Steve Daniels.
And I'm Miriam Thomas. We're glad to have you with us tonight. Well, the big decision is in at this hour. Thousands of Wake County families now know when students are going to make up those school snow days. Let's get the details from News Channel 11's Jim Hill, live in Raleigh. Jim?
Well, Miriam, this is a decision a lot of people have been waiting a couple weeks to find out about, and in fact, several people voted on the school system's website for their pick of the six. In both cases, the same option won out.
Motion passes with 2 to 7.
Wake County School Board members voted for option 5 tonight, which extends the school year by using May 29th and June 2nd through the 9th. That will account for the last 7 days students missed in January because of the snow. 3 other snow days were designated already.
Gives us whole days, and we need whole days if we're going to prepare youngsters for end of grade tests and be able to provide them the quality of instruction that we should provide them.
It's a decision which gave the Crooks family mixed feelings.
I have no problem with the kids going an extra week longer. I wish that summer vacation didn't have to be cut into.
Elizabeth opted for another popular alternative.
Adding on 30 minutes to every day after school, so then we would still get spring break and a few teacher work days or whatever.
But that option of adding on time to the school day brought several other issues for administrators to deal with.
If you're not running the buses for 7 days, you're not opening the cafeteria for 7 days, do you reduce their pay by 7? Whether or not the schools can adjust from the standpoint of the schedule and provide quality time so that students, as they take in the grade and the course, they will have the requisite amount of instruction prior to that time.
But at least now, families like the Crooks can begin making plans for summer break.
Well, whatever our family plans are, we'll just have to make those adjustments and put summer vacation off for just a week.
And school board members covered another issue tonight. That's the student reassignment plan for next year, and there will be a public hearing at Inlow, Green Hope, and Millbrook High Schools on March 6th on that issue. Live in Raleigh, Jim Hill, News Channel 11, ABC.
Float away, trees, trucks. It's unreal how much damage we got.
Tornadoes ripped through the southeast, leaving behind a path of destruction and death. 22 bodies so far, and more are expected to be found in the rubble tomorrow. Tonight, storm survivors are coming to grips with what happened today and trying to figure out exactly what to do tomorrow. The hardest hit area, Camilla, Georgia, southwest of Atlanta. ABC's Dean Staley is there and brings us the latest.
Power crews worked late into the evening, restoring electricity to hundreds of homes. But it will take more than electric power to return Camilla, Georgia to normal. Bill Davis, his wife and daughter were sleeping when the sound of the tornado shook them from their beds. They took shelter in the bathroom.
Another second, it would have been too late. No doubt about it. It's close.
They emerged to find their home crushed and shoved off its foundation. A semi-tractor turned over in their yard. From the air, it was easy to see the path the tornado carved through this housing development. Emergency workers picked through piles of debris, searching for victims. For those who survived, shock at the destruction around them.
It's hard to believe I went through this. I'm glad I survived.
For some who went to check on neighbors, an eerie discovery.
I've got many friends over there that I looked, tried to find their trailers, and there wasn't nothing there.
My son was out checking on some people. He walked up on several dead bodies.
We have late word from Georgia emergency management officials who are revising the number of dead. They say the number now stands at 19, with more than 100 people injured. Dean Staley, ABC News, Camilla, Georgia.
Actually, we here in North Carolina did not escape that severe weather, not entirely. A line of pre-dawn thunderstorms caused considerable damage east of Interstate 95 early today. This is Martin County, where at least 8 homes in Williamston sustained severe wind damage. And in LENOIR County, blustery winds brought trees down. Several vehicles were damaged as a result. Broken limbs littered the roadsides, but fortunately no injuries are reported. It's actually early for that kind of storm, considering we're not yet in tornado season. But the fact is, it's never too soon to start thinking about what to do when violent weather strikes. News Channel 11's Greg Barnes is live in Fayetteville with that story tonight. Greg?
Well, first of all, Miriam, emergency management officials are warning all of us to be ready for what may be a bumpy spring and summer storm season. 6 months after the hurricane of the century, a couple of 3 weeks after the snowstorm of the century, and yeah, folks, we're getting ready to get into tornado season. And some wonder if what happened twice is going to happen 3 times, and they worry that the severe weather that tore through the state this morning may be an early wake-up call. Mike Crane's home was destroyed by Monday's early morning storm.
It was a big explosion. It was just like a bomb hit the house.
Firemen say that bomb was lightning that struck 3 trees and then exploded into his house.
I got up and walked in the hallway, and all of a sudden, a big loud explosion. The door, the room my wife was sleeping in, blows off, and it falls at my feet, and she comes running out.
Crane and his family escaped with their lives. Officials say the storm that sparked this lightning fire was the same one that hours earlier raked death and destruction across southern Georgia. Emergency management officials say if that's an indication of what's to come this year, we may be in for an early and turbulent spring and summer storm season.
Just by being in this region, we know that we're visited by thunderstorms, hurricanes, tornadoes, you name it.
A tornado last year killed 1 person in this Robeson County mobile home park. This year, emergency management officials are warning everyone, plan early.
Figure out what you're going to do before you actually have to do it. Identify those safe areas in your home or your business to go to that people can go to protect themselves.
Besides planning ahead, make sure you've stocked up on enough food, water, and medicine for 3 days, and hold frequent storm drills so everyone will know where to go and what to do. And officials say one of the best precautions is to purchase one of these, a NOAA weather radio. It's an early warning system for approaching storms.
You can have it set to like an emergency broadcast. So anytime there's a national alert, it sends out a tone. But now on the newer model that we have with the NOAA, it also was in a local broadcast.
While a warning may have alerted Mike Crane the storm was coming, firemen say nothing could have prepared him for what happened. In Fayetteville, Greg Barnes, News Channel 11, ABC.
It was not weather-related, but it was pretty spectacular. We're talking about a fire this evening in Johnston County. These Sky Zoom pictures from News Chapter 11 show you the blaze just after firefighters arrived on the scene near Clayton. Fire investigators don't know exactly what caused the fire in this abandoned house.
A judge today sentenced a teenager to at least 124 years in prison for her role in the murder of a little girl. 18-year-old Dorothea Bynum pled guilty to kidnapping, rape, and second-degree murder in the death of 10-year-old Tiffany Long. Tiffany was killed in Burlington in October 1998. 2 other teens charged in the case, Joseph and Harold Jones, will be tried separately, beginning with the case against Joseph Jones. His trial starts immediately in Fayetteville, where the whole case was moved because of pretrial publicity.
More tragedy in Littleton, Colorado today. Authorities there found 2 Columbine High School students murdered in a Subway sandwich shop. The bodies of a 15-year-old boy and a 16-year-old girl were found with apparent gunshot wounds. The boy worked at the store and was dating the girl who was also killed. Police have ruled out murder-suicide, and tonight they are looking for new leads. Also today, a Denver newspaper reports the gunman in last year's Columbine massacre had a much more potent arsenal than originally thought. The Denver Post reports Eric Harris and Dylan Klebold had 95 explosive devices, enough to kill hundreds of students.
The massive airline inspection ordered by the FAA is coming to an end tonight, and aircraft parts suspected of malfunction are headed to the Federal Aviation Safety Lab. All MD-80s, MD-90s, DC-9s, and 717 series jets were inspected following the crash of Alaska Airlines Flight 261. The focus has been on the plane's horizontal stabilizers and on a part known as a jack screw. The FAA says 20 planes from 10 different airlines were found to have problems.
Billionaire Donald Trump now says he will not run for the White House, at least not this year. Trump says the Reform Party is, quote, self-destructing and a total mess. Trump also attributes his decision to Minnesota Governor Jesse Ventura, who has left that party. Trump is downplaying the polls that showed him with very little voter support.
The push is on to ban gambling on college, Olympic, and high school sports, and 2 of North Carolina's best-known names are behind it. Former Carolina basketball coach Dean Smith and U.S. Senator John Edwards are calling for the ban. Edwards has, in fact, introduced a bill in Washington to outlaw such gambling. Coach Smith says a friendly wager with a neighbor is one thing, but sports gambling at the casino level threatens the integrity of amateur sports.
the taint of it, at, let's say, at Northwestern Arizona State, last two, would be harmful to, well, it's just, I don't think it's healthy for our country or for certainly the game.
The gaming industry is expected to fight Senator Edwards' bill, and with good reason. Sports gambling generated $2.3 billion last year in the state of Nevada alone. Edwards says the bill has bipartisan support on Capitol Hill.
8 months after the event, the numbers are now out, and Pinehurst really scored during last June's U.S. Open Golf Championship. The tournament poured more than $70 million into Moore County's economy. The county's Convention and Visitors Bureau says more than half of that was spent on hotel and motel accommodations. Look for more money coming in 2005. That's when Pinehurst will host the U.S. Open once again. Late Show host David Letterman has now announced his return. Find out when, coming up.
And Valentine's Day in the Triangle. We're going to show you how aerial romantics spent this evening.
I'm meteorologist Gary McGrady. The storms are moving out. The sunshine is moving in. We'll talk about it coming up in Hometown Weather.
Coming up only at 11.
People can be very cruel. They think it's all right for little kids and to make fun of obese people. And but it's not fun.
But a new high-tech procedure done right here in the heart of Carolina could turn years of ridicule into years of happiness. A life-saving News Channel 11 Extra next. Plus, we're just hours away from the much-anticipated Oscar nominations. Who will be in? Who will be left out? More local news with Miriam Thomas and Steve Daniels coming up on News Channel 11 ABC.
Tomorrow on Good Morning Carolina, how does the Sandbox help children ward off asthma? That story plus live skies and traffic tomorrow at 5 a.m. on News Channel 11.
Boston Market dinner, it's done.
Some celebrated over the weekend. Others waited until tonight to say Happy Valentine's Day. A few roses, a nice bottle of wine, and dinner for two. That's the way many couples chose to celebrate Valentine's Day. It was a full house, as you see here at Vin Restaurant and Wine Bar on Glenwood Avenue in Raleigh. Couples poured into the restaurants here and all over the Triangle to share a very special evening together tonight.
Very special indeed. Talk show host Oprah Winfrey will headline the send-off for graduates of North Carolina's Salem College this spring. Winfrey has agreed to deliver the commencement address at the private women's college in Winston-Salem. The school's seniors sent her an invitation last fall. 1 week from tonight, David Letterman will make his much-anticipated return to The Late Show. In fact, next Monday, he will welcome Who Wants to Be a Millionaire host Regis Philbin as first guest. Last month, you know, Letterman had emergency heart surgery following an angiogram.
Seems like a quick recovery. About 9 hours from now, the 2000 Oscar nominees will be announced, and excitement's really building in the entertainment industry tonight. As always, the big race, Best Picture. Last year's winner, Life is Beautiful. This year, critics say 8 to 10 movies have the potential to grab one of 5 Best Picture nominations. Among the favorites, American Beauty, The Sixth Sense, The Green Mile, The Talented Mr. Ripley, The Hurricane, The Insider, Being John Malkovich, and The Cider House Rules. You can see the nominations right here on News Channel 11 ABC. They will be announced live tomorrow morning at 8:30 during ABC's Good Morning America. Lose weight or you may die. Serious words spoken by hundreds of thousands of doctors across America every year.
And the fact is, thousands of patients are turning now to doctors for surgery to cure what's known as morbid obesity.
In fact, one of those doctors is right here in the Triangle, and so far he's helped more than 300 people drop thousands of pounds with a procedure that can take less than an hour.
That sounds promising. News Channel 11's Francis Scott is here now tonight with a life-saving News Channel 11 Extra.
This is certainly amazing. His name is Dr. Robert Rutledge, and he practices at Durham Regional Hospital, and he has, over the past 3 years, perfected a surgery called the mini gastric bypass. It's essentially bypassing part of your stomach. Now, this procedure is done through 5 portals or holes they actually put in your belly, essentially shrinking your stomach about to the size of a cigar. Now, you can't and you don't want to eat as much as you did before, and you lose weight. Tonight, more than 350 people credit it and Dr. Rutledge for not only making their lives significantly better, but for actually saving their lives.
And my doctor sent me to him saying that you either do this or die. His department.
Another good advantage, most of these people get off a lot of their medications.
Very interesting. I would guess people like that not only have the physiological improvement in their health, but psychological improvement as well.
Well, and a lot of times, and that's one of the things that he makes them prove that they understand